Oh, would you look at that? It's Tuesday. It's 1:45. That means it's time for us to do a little pre-show banter for a show that we call Comic Industry Insiders Live. Listen, it has been a full couple weeks over here, and so we are using every tool we can in order to make sure that we get everything done. And so that means this week we're going to be talking about AI again because we didn't get canceled last time. So we're going to try a little harder. But before we do, we're going to do the thing we usually do each week. We're going to bring some of our crew up, and we're just going to get a little chat, give you all a chance to come into the room and give everybody a chance to make sure all the mics work. Let's start with somebody who really keeps all the Prana trains running. It's Megan Marsden. How are you doing, Megan?
I'm good. I'm slowly recovering from. I was fine all weekend from my adventures, and then yesterday I hit a brick wall.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not in the sun anymore. So today I'm recovering from.
That's right, because you went to the festival, right?
I went to Warp Tour because I am an elder emo.
Last time I went to a Warp Tour, it was when Valiant was the one of the sponsors of the Warp Tour, and so I had to go and make sure all the comics got handed out. And I think the only time in my life that I ever had sunstroke was being out on that tarmac in Dallas. Yeah.
Z2 sponsored this, but there is no Z2 merchandise. There is no tent to buy the graphic novels for the bands they work with. And there is not an advertisement for the graphic novels with the bands. So Z2, next year, because tickets are already going on sale this weekend, bring the books.
Get on it. Get on it. Speaking of somebody who's on it, Joe.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey. San Diego Comic-Con's a month away.
God damn it. Oh.
Breaking news. I was just working on arranging stuff for it, and I was like, oh, that's like now.
I know. I'm not ready. I'm not even close to ready. Yeah, this is one of those weeks. Oh, hey, Marvin Wynn is in the chat. Marvin, I got a chance to finally meet, so I know what he looks like now, and not just this cartoon. So he was at Heroes Con, and which was really fantastic. By the way, if you've never been, you got to go. Charlotte, it's in every June. This year it was not on Father's Day, so it was even better. I loved that show. It was it's really, really wonderful. All right, let's bring in some other familiar faces. Trevor, are you ready to go? Is this show
ready?
Is it popping? Is it good? Is it going to be a good one?
It's good. We're ready. It's going to pop somewhere.
I love it. Speaking of pops, Brian, how are your kids?
Popping. I don't know. They're in a different province from me, so.
Oh,
I assume
good for you. Good for you. Awesome.
Get as far away as you can, whenever you can.
That's very true.
Secret of parenting.
Well, now that we have two bald guys on the screen, I realized that one of the things that we were missing from this was just more bald guys. And so this is somebody I met at the Uprising a few weeks ago. We met Mark Schaefer. He was on the show 2 weeks ago. And thank you, Django. And he is incredibly bright. One of the smartest people I was lucky to meet at that show, that event. And so we finally get him on the show. Everybody, Matt Wilkinson.
Hey, nice to meet you all.
Show.
Thank you. And I'm only bright because this bald head is so shiny.
Feel you.
Same. Although I'm a little dull this week. There was too much to do to shave. So yeah,
I'll mail you some polish.
I appreciate you on that. I'm looking forward to hearing some of your. Ever since you and I talked last, I've been embracing AI a little more, even though it has going to lead to an eventual cancellation inside of the comics world. The comics people really struggle with the ethical use of AI. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about that a little bit later. But let's keep that for after the next 5 minutes. I've got 5 minutes. I'm going to bring two more people to the stage just to say hello, because otherwise we will not get a chance to say hi to Gabe. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Hey, I'm back.
Yay.
This has been a whirlwind of a 3 or 4 weeks for me, so I'm really excited to be back here.
Fantastic. Gabe's
Yeah.
back. I really want you to stand up and do the Lobo pose, though, where we get a big.
Absolutely not going to happen.
Come on.
But also,
Come on.
know, Adam, that if you get canceled, then I will be directly behind you or potentially in front of you, to be honest, because I'm a little less ethical than you are in my use of AI.
Oh well, I do try it.
Oh,
I do
no.
try and stay in inside of the bounds. Oh well, and one of the things I keep saying, it's a whirlwind. Thank you. Thank you.
This is going to keep happening, isn't it?
I like this. I like that he has a bit. He's in the chat and he still has a bit.
You got a bit.
You had your chance to be part of the show, mister. I tried. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I love the thing that I said last week is that Harlan Ellison once said, morals are the rules we choose for each other and ethics are the rules we choose for ourselves. And I think you can't be unethical for yourself. You can only be immoral based on someone else. Speaking of someone who I think of as completely ethical and moral, Mr. Jason Blanchard.
Oh wow.
There he
What a
is.
lovely,
Hey.
what a lovely, what a lovely intro.
Are we live right now?
We are. This is I don't know if you understand how this works, but we have something called pre-show banter. How's your microphone? What microphone are you using?
Test. Am I using my Yeti mic?
There you go. That's see, this is what it's like when you go on Jason's show. Is
Test,
he
test.
really
Oh,
he runs you
no,
through it.
it's not. Hold on. Let's switch to the mic. Test.
Oh,
Hello. How does this
there we
sound?
go.
Oh, that's even
Whoa.
better.
Listen to that booming bass.
Man, I haven't been on pre-show banter in months. This is awesome. So, yeah.
Jason is coming in as always to scare the shit out of us. So I appreciate you coming in, buddy. You are reliable for nothing else than that, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're inviting me here to scare the comic book industry, sure, let's do it. This one scares anyone with a Shopify account.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's what you call a tease.
Yeah.
I like it.
When I discovered this, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? Because we were experiencing it ourselves. And so I keep telling everyone about this thing that I'm going to share on the show today, because it is scary and it is the future of fraud and scams.
Oh,
Cool.
damn.
Great.
I got chills. Literally, man. Both for being scared, and also for how good this show's going to be. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
I'm excited. I used Claude this morning to do an analysis of like the FOC sales for issue 15. I saw which stores increased their orders, which stayed the same, which decreased their orders. It was like, and it took like 5 minutes, right? And it built like the prettiest spreadsheet for me. And I was like, oh, that is so easy to understand right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I will say that when I was at Valiant, we were lucky. Well, we weren't lucky. We manipulated Diamond into giving us account data that nobody else had, and we had to build entire POS systems around not POS, entire what's the word I'm looking? CRM systems that would allow us to analyze that data and build reports and that sort of thing, because it was just so much more difficult than it is now.
Yeah.
Other than
I went to Claude and I was like, hey, we did this like a couple weeks ago. Can I add this new document? Like I just talked to it and I was like, yeah. Okay. And I did. And I was like, all right. And then it just like,
we're going to get into that. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I want to say really quickly to one more person we're going to bring back to the stage, just to say, Sean, how was Heroes Con for you, buddy?
Heroes Con was absolutely unbelievable. My favorite convention that I've ever been to, and I've been going to New York Comic Con and various conventions for 20 years. It was the best vibe I've ever experienced, and the happiest I have seen the artists in Artist Alley ever look. So quite an experience. And I got to hang out with Adam Freeman for a little bit, so that was fun too.
That's me. That's always good. That's always good. Your whole crew was there. It was really great. All right. Yeah. It's officially 2:00, which means I got to kick you all out. We're going to bring you all back, or some of you are going to go away forever. I don't know. All right. We'll see y'all in a bit. All right. And we're going to move you and remove you. Oh, and remove you. And Matt, you're gone. Yes, Jason Blanchard, your camera is off. There we go. And bye, Joe. Let's light it. Are you like me? Did you stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning building a report for somebody that you're going to talk to later tomorrow? And did you use new tools that make you a little bit uncomfortable, but kind of scare you, but also kind of excite you? Are you like me in that you think, oh, I love comics and I want comics to be so much better? Man, I got this show for you. It's Comic Industry Insiders Weekly Live show. We do this at 2 o'clock EST. Every week, we talk about the headlines. We talk about the things that excite us. We talk about the things that scare us. We talk about the best information that we can bring you for your business or career in comics. We're absolutely committed to it. And when I say we, I have to bring up my partner in crime on this one. And some weeks, it does feel like a crime. Mr. Brian Garside. How you doing?
That's ominous. It does some weeks. It does.
It does.
Hey, dude.
I was describing my week to somebody who is not comics related, and I was saying it's kind of stressful, and they were saying why, and I told them, and they basically said, well, so let me get this straight. You spend your whole week traveling to hang out with people who love comic books. You love comic books, and I said, yeah. And then you have a week of selling them because you like talking about them. Well, yeah. And a lot of your stress is just like getting together all the numbers that make sense for people so you can explain why they're important. Like, yeah. So what's the problem? It's very stressful.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm away in another city, and I've done more work so far this week than I do in a normal week. So.
This is because you're on vacation and everybody's leaving you alone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This morning for 4 hours, because I'm an hour ahead of you guys. It's 3 o'clock Atlantic time right now. Like I woke up at 7 this time, which was 6, and for like 4 hours, nobody bugged me. It was amazing.
Great, isn't
It's so much done.
It's so wonderful. Yeah, man. Well, that's the other thing about traveling to conventions is everybody assumes you're too busy, and so they leave you alone. And so there you go. And yes, you're right, Jeremy. It was good to be young. I remember it fondly. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like there were times I was bouncing back a little faster. I felt a little more rubber,
Yeah.
Just trying to keep my brain plastic. Well, speaking of plastic things, look, I'm Mr. Transition this week.
So that's an interesting segue. I'm curious. Where is this going?
I don't know. See, I know there is a deck. I haven't seen it. So
so you want to see the plastic deck?
It's all improv for me this week, kids.
I see.
It's all improv.
I see. Well, let's talk about AI for the rest of us. This week on the show, we're going to talk about how to apply AI in ethical ways. We're also going to scare the crap out of you when our friend Jason Blanchard comes on and talks to all Shopify stores about a terrifying threat to Shopify as a whole, which has most likely happened because of AI, and how you can employ AI and some simple scripting, honestly. And that's one of the things we got to talk about is like a lot of the things that people call AI is really what we used to just call scripting, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, some of this is actually transformational and generative and using agents. But the vast majority of things people call AI additions are really just a little bit of logic behind a system. So, yeah, it's not all as dark as it should be.
For those of us who never who dated in high school. No, I'm kidding. I didn't date in high school. But for those of us who never really understood coding, like this area, this arena, these new tools, they are, I mean, they're a level up in so many different ways,
For sure.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Well,
so this is what we're talking about this week. We're going to have some headlines. We've got Quick Cuts, Side Quest to World Domination. All right.
Ooh,
Yeah, I haven't even
excellent.
seen that one.
I hear the
And then, of
video
course,
on this one is a fun one. I'm really curious to see it. So yeah,
I love these things. They're great. Like they're so tight, and yeah, they're really, really good.
Oh, this
And
apparently
then
it's got a little creative. I'm looking forward to it. Oh yeah, and the
finally
panel.
our bestseller list. So let's jump right in to our headlines. DC
Right.
Comics, Andreas Shea rises to senior editor.
Man, good for her. That's a this is the kind of thing that like you just got I feel this sort of I don't know, not you can almost feel the pride of somebody who is moving up inside of an organization that is doing so incredibly well right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, because we just got back from Heroes, and DC was the star of the show. Like it's not surprising, you know, they're the star of the comic show right now, but like they genuinely owned that show, and the panel that the absolute panel was wonderful. Che Grayson,
right?
Literally made the whole room kind of well up with emotion just talking about working with that crew. It was really incredible. And so seeing somebody like this, rising up the ranks, I'm afraid I don't know Andrea, but I'm happy for her. This is all improv. I'm not looking at any stories this week. So if there's anything intelligent to be said, you're going to have to say it.
I was just going to say, I actually didn't look a whole lot into this story because you usually handle the personnel changes. But okay. Andrea Shea, superstar, just rising the ranks. Moving on, he said cleverly. I like
Speaking of
this story.
Superstars,
holy mackerel.
Their 9th store, Third Eye just opened. Their 9th store, and not like it's not like they had 9 stores that are 1,200 or 2,000 feet, right? That 2,000 feet, I feel like, is the average comic shop, and just an everyday suburb. Their 9th store, they took over a former Walmart. Have you ever been?
What does that even look like? I don't even how do you get that much product into a Walmart? I don't understand.
Well, I believe, he's got essentially, what is it, two storefronts, three storefronts at his base HQ. And I believe that it's the size of a Walmart. But yeah, it could just be, as Megan points out, room for activity.
So much room for activities.
It could be just I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Steve Anderson to put in a bowling alley. That guy, yeah. Like, he is just so good at saying, you love this thing and you love this thing. Let's put those two things together. Right? He's just so good at it. And I can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Someone is going to crack the code on how to make a fun hobby space, because in Canada, Toys R Us lasted an additional 2 years after your Toys R Us has died.
Oh, really?
And one of the things they did is they combined HMV, which was a record store, with Toys R Us, and then they added in Claire's, which is a kind of jewelry line for kids kind of thing. And they just kept on adding these things on. And then in the very last thing they did was start to add these amazing play palaces to it. And I was like, oh my God, they may have actually figured out how to make toys fun again. Because Toys R Us, in my opinion, was the worst store ever. Just the most boring shelving with the most boring layout of it was so terrible. And
it just really depended on you being excited by the toys, right? It didn't give you any sort of excitement on the way they were displayed or any, you didn't learn anything. You just came in and shopped, right?
But as kids, you remember FAO Schwartz and KB Toy, they were fun places to go. And Toys R Us was always just where you went to get stuff because you knew it would be in stock. I always thought that there'd be some sort of true revitalization. Didn't happen. They have actually gone bankrupt in Canada too. Just took 2 extra years. But yeah, I think somebody's going to figure this out. Comics are fun. Make the whole thing fun.
So one of the themes, I think, of our shows this year is this idea that we are on the cusp of the first nationwide chain, right? Yeah. And who is the person who's going to pull it off? I think we actually had a show where we had a couple of contenders. Steve Anderson was one. We had Chris Powell on representing Coliseum of Comics. I would love to talk to somebody at Graham Crackers if you guys want to send somebody on the show.
We've got Newbury that's got what,
Newbury.
16, 18 locations. There's
Yeah.
so many potentials.
I know
out there.
that the is it Kodakawa has the manga spot here in New York, and they're planning on open all over the country. So it's going to be interesting to see who does it. But it's also like Manga Spot seems to be looking at really small locations, whereas Steve, if he can, I mean, seriously, if he can pull this off in Walmart locations, abandoned Walmarts, I mean, that's sky is the limit for that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, speaking of, I want to put something here that I think is really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Brent Fisher came into our LinkedIn and said, flipping a Walmart. I knew they were doing well, but man. And then later he says, isn't that like the equivalent to opening a Mile High in and of itself? Then right almost immediately on YouTube, we get the same comment. So are we saying that Beefy Tremendous is Brent Fisher? Huh? Have we just decoded that? Hey, Brent, welcome aboard, buddy. Awesome. Beefy Tremendous. I like it. All right.
Layoffs begin at Dark Horse. Flowing recognition. Oh, man.
Yeah. I hate seeing this, but I think we called it, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you get venture capital in, what they do is they extract value. That's their job. Venture capital's job is to extract value. So it looks like they're doing that. I mean, I think it's really interesting that they actually recognize the union and then said, "Oh, but half y'all are gone anyway." So sure, we'll follow that. Maybe it's not half. I don't know the numbers. Again, this is all improv this week, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So there you go. All right.
Let's talk about AI, Adam.
Are we going to talk AI? I thought we were going to do. Is this what I see? Now I need to know the rundown. I'm going to take this off the screen because I thought we were going to. Let me look at here.
We're going to talk about with our friend Jason first,
right?
But I think it's kind of quasi AI related because it's AI that's enabling all this stuff. So let's bring Jason in a little bit to scare us first before we go in.
Our favorite horror writer, Jason Blanchard, who content and community director of Black Hills InfoSec, co-founder and I think he's like the co-exec. I don't remember what exactly his title is.
We should ask
him. He is the guy. By the way, if you're looking for a job, if you're watching right now and you're looking for a job, I want you to go to this LinkedIn link and look at his content, because he does this entire series called Job Hunting Like a Hacker. That is, I think, as of this morning. Let's pull Jason up here. Jason, are you around? Do you have you're not on, your camera's not on, buddy. Oh, there you are. Ready? All right, here we go. Okay. Jason, how many people have gotten jobs?
As of today, 333 have come back to let me know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is really cool.
That's not what we're talking about this week, but how did that start for you?
So I taught film school for a long time, and part of my class was to teach young filmmakers how to survive in the film industry, of like constantly looking for that next gig, constantly looking for that next job, constantly networking, constantly. And so I picked up a lot of skills and being able to articulate it. And then when I got into the cybersecurity industry and I saw what hackers did, and I was like, oh, so hackers get into a company just like a job applicant gets into a company. So if you combine the two things together, you come up with a really powerful like structure for how to bypass the normal hiring processes and get into companies. And so I started teaching people that during the pandemic because I saw so many people losing jobs. And then like someone came back and was like, it worked. And I was like, seriously? Right? Like, yeah, good. So I just started keeping track of the number. And then like the first 100 came in, then like the second, 100, and now we're up to 333. And it's been 30 in the last 60 days. So like there's like gaining speed and momentum as far as job hunting goes. But I do teach using AI in job hunting too. So real quick, one of the cool things that you can do in AI is so what you do is go to every job description you can find, just super tangent. So you go to any job description based on like the title that you have, and then you harvest every single bullet point that you can find that are true about you, because human beings suck at describing themselves. They're much better at finding something that describes themselves. And so they're like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. So you just harvest all these bullet points together, and then you put it all into one document, and then you tell AI, these are all the skills and abilities that I have. Take a look at this job description. You give the link and say, am I capable of doing this job? And it says, yeah, of course, you know how to do all these things. And you're like, cool, then make me a resume that says that. And it just does.
Awesome. And you just had somebody who did that, right? I know you.
Oh my goodness, they took that to the extreme. They have like AI agents that are like cross-checking jobs out there, looking for anything that's relevant. And then if they don't have the skill, but they may have done it in the past, it like ask, and then it automatically updates their resume to like articulate it. It builds a resume for human consumption and a resume for AI consumption. And then it like checks the recruiter that potentially works for that company, like gets to know them a little bit and gives you some talking points for how to reach out to them. And then it was like kept track of all this stuff inside of Notion and like AI. And so they knew exactly how many jobs they applied for. They knew exactly how many interviews they got. And in 13 days, they landed a new job.
Well, there you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's just it. That's 100%. Well,
anyway. Now that you've inspired us, terrifying.
Yeah.
Let's go for both.
All right, let me see if I can share my screen. That was the one thing I didn't test.
You should be able
sharing screen. I want to share a window, and I want to share this window, and I'm sharing. Let me know if you can take that
up. All right. Okay. Let's pull that up. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So around May 1st, all right, so the company I work for, Record Comics, Black Hills Information Security, we have a merch store, and we use Shopify to do our merch store. And around Christmas time, I noticed there was like these abandoned carts, and I was like, why do I have so many abandoned carts? So I looked into it, and I was like, what is happening? Like every 3 minutes or every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes, I had an abandoned cart for the same item. And I was like, that's weird. So I looked into it, and I realized that people were running credit cards against our Shopify store, and eventually they would get a success. Okay, so around December time, and then when I really looked into it around December, I was like, wait a second, I have like 5,000 fake customers in my email list, including they subscribe, right? Like they subscribe to the email. And so I was pulling that data, putting it into an email list, and then sending people about updates and stuff, right? So there's fraudulent customers inside my mailing list, and that pissed me off. So I was able to purge them. And then I kept up for it and kept up for it and kept up for it and kept up for it. But then I went on like a 5-week sabbatical from work, and I came back and I checked the customer list, expecting to see maybe 2,000 fake customers at that rate. Adam, Brian, I had over 50,000. I had 50,000 fake customers. And I was like, what? 50,000. And I was like, what happened? Right. So around May 1st, the scammers who were using to test credit cards, I believe they ran an AI script that allowed them to do it faster. So instead of 5 to 10 an hour, it was 5 a minute. I'd hit refresh and I'd have another like 20 fake customers in the customer list. And I was like, I was purging them at 50 at a time. So you have to manually purge, or you can run a script, and we figured out how to run a script. But I was manually purging. It took 7 straight hours of manually purging 50,000 fake customers from Shopify, from our customer list. So if I would have just pulled that list and like imported it into MailChimp or whatever it is that you use, I'm importing 50,000 fake customers. I'm now paying for 50,000 fake customers. I'm paying for all those emails. And now I'm literally emailing nobody when I have an update, right? So now your deliverability rates like plummet because you're emailing all these bounce email accounts, and like MailChimp might look at you and go like, what are you doing? Right? So it's a fundamental infrastructure problem for your Shopify store. Okay. So here's what I recommend, right? Like I went into it and I was like, crap. It took 6 weeks. I work for one of the world's greatest security protection companies. I want to make that very clear. And after like a week or two of me trying to figure this out, I turned it over to our security operations center, and I turned it over to some of the most creative hackers I could possibly. And I was like, how do you fix this? And after a few days, they're like, we can't. Like the way that it's hitting the Shopify store isn't like running through the normal way of doing it. So I couldn't stop it. So what we did is we did a couple things. So I'll tell you how. First, you got to purge your mailing list. And what you do is you look for, do you have 0 orders and 0 spent, right? So you have to sort it in orders from ascending. And what you get is all the customers who are currently fake. And they look real, y'all. Wilmington, Delaware, New York, Hamburg, right? Like these are all auto-generated addresses with real human-sounding names, and they are subscribing to things. So you have to go to your customer list. And then once you get to your customer list, sort in orders and ascending, and you're looking for 0 orders and 0 spent, okay? If you come across that, most likely those are scammers who are using your Shopify store to test credit cards. Sometimes they're successful. And so when they're successful, it sucks, right? Because this is what success looks like. They bought a sticker. My shipping team does not know not to ship the sticker. So they put the sticker in an envelope, and then they ship the sticker to nobody because Sarah Johnson does not exist. So you might have people on your team who are literally mailing out things to human beings who do not exist, who are now paying for that stuff, right? Like, so it's fraud, and it's time and like energy spent to get it out to people, and it's going to someone that doesn't exist. So it might come back to you, which that also becomes a problem. And so what we have over here is you go into your customer list, you go through your orders, and you purge if you have it, okay? What you're looking for, if they do successfully, because they did. So what happened was generally they'd have like a success every 2 days. They started having a success like 15 a day. I was getting more fraudulent orders per day than I was getting real orders per day. And that became a problem for the team and for me to like go through, because sometimes I was like, yay, we're selling. I was like, wait a second. Wait. Oh, no. Right. So the email addresses look legit, right? If you take a look at the screen, they're using Gmail, but if you look at it, it's got their first name dot last name with like 4 numbers, or first name, last name with like 3 numbers, and a huge telltale sign is this 123 Main Street. That's not real. And then the other is the address in the address line and address to line. That's one of the ways to get around the verification, checking to see if you actually have a real address or not inside Shopify. So they run it in the address 1, address 2. If that is happening to you, that's not a real account, okay? So you're going to have a problem there. So what we did is we implemented this app called Flow. And when we implemented Flow, I don't work for Flow. Just want to make this very clear. It's
part of Shopify. It's actually owned by Shopify. So
okay.
It's just part of Shopify.
Oh, fantastic. So we implemented Flow, and it was capture if order is not high fraud risk. And what it was doing was like canceling the order before it went to the credit card processing. And after like 2 weeks of this happening, we saw a dramatic drop in the attack that was going on. Okay. So as of today, it's now back to like 5 an hour. And either Shopify did something because they saw an existential threat to their entire business model and they decided to go in and fix something, or this Flow thing where we were canceling orders as they came in is what eventually caught, like the attackers were like, this isn't working. Let's go to a different store. So these are the things to look for. You want to go into your customer list. You want to purge anything that's 0 orders and 0 spent. And if you do have orders that have come in, to check to see if they're fraudulent or not, you go into the individual order and then you cancel. So main thing is purge email list, enable fraud detection on Shopify, enable Flow to auto cancel payment, and then purge your email list. And then, like I said, if you got 5 an hour, it's not so bad, but 5 a minute, bad, right? 5 a minute it was like 2,000 to 3,000 a day. It was frustrating. And then the last thing, since this is the AI talk, right? If you don't have this problem now, you are going to. Because the one thing about scammers is that they're really good at telling other scammers how they're scamming. And they're really good at sharing their secrets. They're good at sharing their scripts. They're good at sharing what they're discovering and finding to help others who want to scam. And so if they're currently using this AI model or this AI model or this AI model, I was sitting in a presentation at a HackerCon last year when the person on stage showed us that the AI went with the cursor and said, "I am human." And we all watched it on stage and we're like, son of a bitch. Oh.
Was it able to tell you which of these photos is a bicycle?
Yeah.
I may have to hire an agent to start filling out captures for me because I can't do it. I'm an AI apparently.
So the main thing that I wanted to come in here today is like comic book stores are your small business. You don't have a security operations center. You don't have the security team that we have. And so if you're going to have this problem with Shopify in the future or any e-commerce that you do, AI is going to enable scammers to take advantage of that. So keep an eye on your customer list, keep an eye on your store, and then please don't help enable the fraud by just being oblivious and ignorant to the problem that you might have. That's it for me today to scare everybody.
Can we make that flow available? Because I actually have a flow subsection on Managed Comics of just like common flows that we use. Is it possible to make that available? And
I'll see if I can get it from the
take a look at it.
team. Yeah, because they enabled it, but
because
Brian,
they're exportable, and then you can just import them into your store, and that would be terrific if we could do something.
Yeah, I'll check with the security team and see if they'll export that for me. Yeah,
and
then
great.
Brian, were you like checking your customer list while I was doing the?
I was, yeah. How'd you see? How'd you know? Wait, are you in my computer? No.
Yeah. Any questions before I go?
No. Well, I'm gonna let the chat see if they have any questions, but I do want to bring up something that popped up as we were getting just get rolling. Our new friend here said, let's see, where did it go? He said something about meeting you guys. Oh yeah, AI Finance in New York. You were not there, but John was, and we met with John that week.
Yeah,
for our creative retreat. So yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, there you go.
So small world to an AI and finance conference in New York to just happen to be there. Like, hello.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and this is exactly what Jason said in the past too. You will have problems like this because automation is making this stuff explosive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
We're talking. It's people in the chat are actually checking. Here's somebody 2,000 fake orders in theirs. So and that's somebody who embraces the AI. He was on our show last week. So yeah.
I see a few, but not. They don't look suspicious. They actually look like people I know. So
okay,
I only saw like 50.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
A little scary. A little scary. Thanks, awesome. Jason. We should have you on every couple of weeks for the bi-weekly scare. And here's Jason to terrify us with other tales.
The worst part about this, he's been telling me about this for weeks, and every time he'd say it, I said, "Well, what are we going to tell them? How to handle this?" He was like, "I don't know." I'm like, well, then I don't want to just scare them until we figure it out. Like, yeah. But that's what it's like working with these people. They're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, someone could just shut off all the water." Well, what are we doing about it? Don't know yet. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the worst one with the water is to trick the sensor into thinking that there's not enough chlorine in it, so that it overcompensates with the chlorine and then poisons the water.
Don't tell us these things.
Okay, so
you
Jason, thanks for coming by. Really appreciate you once again being there, buddy.
Don't forget to read Record Comics. The future is bye.
Bye. Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, let's go a little light for a second.
Okay, sure.
Let's do some quick cuts.
I'll just do some quick cuts. Hey,
Trevor,
Brian,
can you push the magic button? Yeah.
I'll do my intro, but screw it. Just hit the button and let's go.
Yeah. Like somebody's hitting a button.
Is this the button pushing right now?
This is the button pushing portion of the show.
And here comes
where
the
buttons
button.
Are being pushed.
All right. You know what? Let's skip quick cuts. We'll come back to. Oh wait. Looks like a play button.
It's there. How come it's not playing?
Oh, we're getting a black screen that's playing.
Wow.
Wow.
So we need that like technical difficulties. See,
this is the problem. Is Django was pushing the button, and we were all pushing the button at the same time.
No,
and so
everybody pushed the button. No.
Yeah. No,
well, I blame it on AI.
Well,
so
why
we'll
not?
get back to quick cuts just after this message. But first,
let's get into it.
But first,
we're gonna bring in. Oh, we're gonna do bestseller. Let's do bestseller.
Before we get to that message, why don't you tell the kids a little bit about classifieds?
Oh my goodness, y'all!
Classifieds.
I spent an entire weekend talking about classifieds to comics people, and frankly, I'm not going to stop. You know why? Because you're going to spend money to market your store. You're going to spend money to market your books. You're going to spend money to communicate with people, whether you like it or not. You're spending money just to watch this, right? So why not do it in a smart way? Why not put it classified in Comics the Magazine? You too could be one of the smart people who's communicating with 40,000 comics fans for $20. $20 will get you a classified ad in the next
$20. That's a bargain at twice the price, Adam. You really
I really should raise the rates. I imagine we'd probably even do that. Yeah, whatever. But we are always taking these in for the next issue. It is legitimately one of the best deals in comics. So drop us a line. Classifieds at comicsmagazine.com. We'll get you into the next one. All right.
Absolutely. Let me hit a button and see if it works.
I can't wait to see what we're doing now.
Apa kabar semua? I'm Squire McGuire. I'm a manga artist from Malaysia. I'm the author and the artist behind Side Quest 2 World Domination. A little isekai manga about a villainess from a fantasy world and her dragon companion now residing in the modern world.
What I love about that was I'm pretty sure it was not made by AI. So
They're so fast. I'm just never expecting them to end. Dun, dun.
This came from our good friends at Cosmic Lion Productions. Cosmic Lion is distributing through Prana Publishers, through Lunar, Universal, Diamond UK. Here are the codes. You can order them. You can order in the very next FOC. And looking forward to this one. This is actually, I actually love the manga that Eli and his crew are bringing in Cosmic Lion, and this is one of those I'm really looking forward to. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we've gotten the horror out of the way, we've gotten our quick cuts of the way, and we've gotten our Comics the Magazine promo, why don't we just go ahead to our main story after all?
Let's do it.
We don't need some issues with the flippings of things.
Why do we do we don't need a rundown. We're just going to do things. Matt Wilkinson. Let's talk about
our special guest. Yeah.
Matt Wilkinson, PhD, MBA, is the founder of Striven, a life science and B2B marketing consultancy specializing in AI-driven strategy. With deep expertise in helping complex commercial teams keep the buyer at the center of every decision, Matt pioneered the concept of synthetic customers, AI-powered buyer personas built from research that the product, marketing, and sales teams can all work from. He's a speaker, a trainer, an active voice in the AI marketing space, and he helps life science and biotech organizations use tools like Claude, ChatGPT, and Copilot to build smarter, more buyer-aligned go-to-market strategies. He's also a giant nerd, and so when I was looking around for somebody who could help us understand how AI can be used in small business, I immediately thought of Matt because I know he knows our space, and obviously he knows AI. And his synthetic customers are kind of creepy. They're cool, but they're really creepy. Like he has these whole conversations with them before they even. Anyway, Matt, welcome to the show.
Hey, nice. Thank you for having me on.
The synthetic customers were a little creepy. You have to.
They really are, but they're fantastic. I like, for the sake of this show, let's call them the mind readers.
The mind readers. We're not really talking about that, but they're so cool. It was just my own curiosity. How are those built, and what is their purpose?
So you can use them for a whole range of things. So you could build them from, essentially a persona. Anybody that's done any marketing will have obviously come across sort of trying to understand who your customers are. But this is really relevant for small business as well. So you could imagine, if you're allowed to, talking to your customers, maybe recording some of the questions that they ask, the things that they're important to them, the things they love, the things they hate. If you can then get those transcripts according that you have ethically asked them for permission, of course, and not just recorded them on, under CCTV or whatever, make sure that you could then actually turn all that information into insight that you can then use to help you better understand what your customers need and want, and then how they might respond to things. So I'll give you a great example. I mean, you can also do this based on LinkedIn profiles and, scraping Reddit and other places to find out what people are saying about various things. And the sum of all that data becomes really, really exciting. But to give you a really fun example, I'm about to publish a book. And I've been working with a designer to come up with a front cover, not created it by using AI, a fantastic designer called Jim McLeod, author of The Visual Marketer. And, we put 3 of these covers to the test in front of the persona. And so we built these, I've got my synthetic customer panel, and they voted for 3 of these different covers. They said some really interesting things, and there was some interesting fight between the 2 marketers. One of them loved one cover, one of them loved the other, and one of them said, "Hey, that one's nice, but it's like a hug," which was kind of cool. We then put that out to my LinkedIn network, and we got some really interesting correlation between the types of people that were voting for certain covers and the type, and how my synthetic customers voted. But what was great was that it was all a tie. So it was a tie in my synthetic customer panel. It was a tie online. And that basically meant that we hadn't yet found the right cover. So we went away. Jim did some more work, came up with some great ideas, a cover that I'm going to be really excited to launch in, hopefully within the next month. And when we put it to the synthetic customer panel, the 3 of my most important buyers all agreed that that was the one. So that's kind of exciting.
That very, very cool. I can tell you from having worked with Claude and a couple other pieces, to do kind of creative work. What I find, I think the most interesting is that it is on demand, and it is the same sort of back and forth, right? That allows you to find creative work sometimes where, it's hard for me to get somebody who will stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning talking about a presentation, right? Yeah.
And so it helps keep the buyer in the loop in between those moments when you would be speaking with them.
Right. What so talk to me about small business. If you were starting off today, right? Let's say you are starting a retail operation, or you're publishing now. Talk to me about what are the tools that you would be using if you were just starting flat-footed?
Well, I mean, it's great. I mean, I'd pick an LLM of choice, and if I wasn't using too much, I'd go into either ChatGPT or Claude. I tend to prefer Claude. I think there's probably more ethical, but how much of that's marketing, I guess we don't really know yet. And first thing I'd try to do is to build myself a business advisor. Now, our mutual friend Dan Nestle that we met, both met at the Uprising, he built a business advisor, and there's a sheet that he sort of created that go through that process, and really helps you to think about the ways you're running your business. So that would be the first sort of thing that I would build, is a business advisor that I can talk to get advice about what's going on. I might then build another type of engine where I'd look at trying to understand, the profit and loss, what we're buying, what we're selling, what our overheads are, feed all of that financial data in, feed in, who's buying what, and try to start understanding, really what is, what's driving the profitability. Because it's easy to grow. I say it's easy, but it's easy to grow top line and actually not make any money doing it. And so you got to be able to look at, well, what are we doing to actually drive, to sell the things that are actually coming back in our pockets. And that could be something as simple as not just looking at the patterns of what's selling, but which shelves are selling best. So the big retailers look at this all the time, and they're really, really clever at sort of product positioning. Where do they actually place it on the shelves? And there might be places that we don't think of, but those prime places where things sell really, really well. And so being able to identify those would be something I'd really look into. And then I'd probably build myself an AI marketing team.
So, all right, talk about that. What would an AI marketing team be doing?
So, I mean, I like to look at this a little bit like as if I was, thinking about this in terms of, let's say I'm creating music. I still want to be the composer of the idea. So it's still got to be me creating something. And however I want to create, I might feel more comfortable writing. I might feel more comfortable talking into a microphone. Whatever it is, I want to create that first idea, that first spark. But then I want something to help organize and turn it into the types of content that I want to share. So it might be that I help use that to turn that into, maybe it's blogs, maybe it's newsletters, maybe it's, social media posts, and use that to start chopping up and creating from that one central idea into all of that sort of content remix, if you will, to really be able to create all of those assets that you can then distribute wherever you like, wherever your customers are, to help bring them back into the store, back to you, and help promote what you do.
I actually love that a lot. One of the things that you guys talked about when you were presenting at the Uprising, and it was something that stuck with me, was this idea of the human, was it the AI sandwich?
The human in the loop sandwich. Yeah, the human AI sandwich. Yeah.
Yes. I will talk about that, but I will tell you, really informed my work, and part of the reason why I felt comfortable having this conversation in a space where you say the words AI and the pitchforks and torches come out, was this idea that AI slop is really about giving up. It's about putting out product that you're not proud of. It's about saying, this was good enough and putting it out there to represent you. It's still your choice, right, to do that. So I loved your perspective on that, if you want to talk about it a bit more.
Yeah, so I really believe that AI is a tool that we use, and anything that we put our names to or we distribute as ourselves, that's our responsibility. So we might want to, we might compose the music. We may not be able to play all of the instruments ourselves, but we still have to play the role of the conductor, making sure that it looks right, making sure that everything feels like it should do. And we have to play the role of the sound engineer, making sure that whatever goes out to the market actually is good and is something that we're proud of putting our name on. Maybe we need to think of AI a little bit like an intern. The more information we give it, the more context we give it, the better the outputs will be. But it doesn't matter how good the intern is. If we put our name on it and hand that to whoever, it's our responsibility. And we really have to be careful to make sure that we take responsibility for what goes out there. And I think in this era, more than any, brand equals trust. And AI slop just erodes that so quickly. People want genuine, they want human interactions, and we're seeing that more and more. And so while AI is a fantastic amplifier, we have to be really careful what it's amplifying.
Truly. It's funny you mentioned music, because I had this interesting conversation this last weekend with somebody who is in our comic space, but started in music and working with bands and hip hop artists mostly. And he said that he felt like the music, or at least the hip hop world, has really embraced working with these AI tools in a way that comics is just shunning. And he said that to his mind, it came from the fact that on the music side, they see themselves as entrepreneurs, whereas oftentimes in comics, we tend to see ourselves as freelancers or employees. And that the difference is that the entrepreneur is always looking for the edge and looking for a new tool and looking for some way to leverage up, whereas the employee or the freelancer is worried about losing their job. Right. I thought that was just so insightful, that it really does, especially when we're talking about working with people who are feeling anxious about it, is keeping that in mind, is that there is just real fear. you know. So
Yeah, and I think that fear is legitimate, right? We have to accept that it's AI is scary, and even if you're working with it as a key part of what you do, I looked down the barrel of sort of the AI gun several years ago, and I said, nearly everything I do, AI is able to do part of now. So I had the choice of either being disrupted or disrupting myself. I chose the latter. And so for the last 2-3 years, I've been trying to disrupt everything I do using AI, just because I knew that if I didn't, that work would go away. And so that's really something I think we have to look at. Does that mean that the value of art goes down? I think the value of art goes up. And I think that people will be looking at that art, that story, that end product in different ways. But I think sometimes the way we get there may need to change. But I really do believe that our need for the fundamentals of human connectivity and human purpose are going to become stronger than ever.
I'm willing to believe that. I'm also willing to believe that the whole thing's going to come crashing down around our ears. But two ideas at once. So it's really important. Matt, if people are watching this and would like to hear more about what the work you do and more about the content you create, where can they find you?
I'm all over LinkedIn. So that's one place. And I'd have to look for my handle ever so quickly because I can't even remember that. But I think it's Matt Wilkinson, PhD, MBA. If you just search for me, you should find me. I'm the bald-headed guy. And there you go. LinkedIn.com, Matt Wilkinson. And you can also find us at Striven_AI. And I will apologize to all of those that look at the images and go, hey, they're AI generated. I wouldn't be able to afford to buy an image every or twice a week or whatever to create them. So I do use the AI to help create them. But I fully understand that that's an ethical quagmire that I've walked into. And, it's one I struggle with. It's either that or I'd use boring stock photography.
We all are struggling. We're all going to find our way through. Once again, morals versus ethics. Thank you so much, Matt. You are just as insightful as I enjoyed getting to know you, and I'm looking forward to the next time.
I look forward to it too. All right, take
Thanks
care,
so much,
everybody.
Matt. Take care.
Awesome. Wow.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun. He's a sweet guy. He's really.
Yeah. No, that was really great. Do you want to do some practical AI stuff?
Let's do it. Let's dig in. I know I've got a couple things. You've got a couple things. Let's show off what we've learned. Let's do show and tell.
So for your practical thing, I'll do some setup for it. You asked me for some stats, and honestly, I had no idea how to get them. So within Shopify, there's a thing called Sidekick, and Sidekick is really good at telling you where things are in Shopify. So if you ask Shopify, for example, how do I edit a product? It'll go, oh, you click this link and it'll take you to the product. But you can also ask it, how do I create a query to do a thing? So in this case, I said to it, how do I get a ledger of transaction for the 3-month period from March 2026 to May 2026? And it said to do this thing. But then I was like, okay, I did it and I got the thing. And then I said, well, what I really need is for each item sold in that transaction to each customer. And it was like, oh, that's not a ledger. That's an analytic. And then it gave me the actual analytics thing that it spit into its analytic generator. And then it created a download. And that was terrific. So I said, okay, this is really good, but I also need the SKU and I need a barcode. And it was like, oh, I can't give you the barcodes. And barcodes are really the only thing that we can kind of use universally. But it could give me a SKU, and then it told me where to get my barcodes. And then I'm a nerd, so I was able to use Excel to do an XLOOKUP between the two and match it all up. But if you weren't a nerd, you could go to another AI and say, here's the primary key, here's the thing that I'm looking for. Please match these two things up, and it would spit out the thing. Or if you were using Google Sheets, it'll actually create that XLOOKUP for you. Mm-hmm. So I think this whole thing took me 10 minutes, 15 minutes, which begs the question, like, Django, what were you doing that you couldn't take 10 minutes? But
I'll say that
yeah, it took about 10, 15 minutes to actually generate the thing and then like combine it into a way that I could just dump it to you. Also, I had an AI, like I have an anonymized list of superhero names that I just have on hand because I have to use them whenever I do a demo. So I fed that into one of the LLMs and said, just replace all the customer names with the names from this spreadsheet. And it was just like, boom, there you go. So, Bob Smith suddenly became Bruce Wayne. And it really, like that took a matter of seconds, which would have taken me in the past, Control C, Control V, until I was done, or do a crazy lookup kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great usage of AI that didn't take a ton of time. And Shopify's AI is kind of like, it's quasi AI and it's also quasi just like a script language that can read help instructions. So, but yeah, that's like an everyday example of AI. But then I gave you that data, and what happened?
So what I did was I went through and I've sent you these reports. I don't know how many of them you want to get deep into. I have a summary we can go through.
Yeah, let's go through the summary because I looked at them and I don't think there was anything there that I would be embarrassed about.
Okay. Well,
says that not created ordering.
Let's pull up that deck. Does anybody have that, or should I, Trevor? That was
give that one separate because I haven't seen that deck.
Yeah. Trevor saying something. Trevor, where is it?
I thought you said you sent it to Brian, so I do not have it. Yeah, that's
all right. It's in our chat, Brian. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drop you. Okay.
Hey everyone, how you doing?
Let's, what we'll do is I'll do it like this, and I will share my screen, and we will slideshow from there, and I will. What am I doing here? There we go. Sharing.
I don't even see this. So this is exciting.
I know. This is gonna be fun. Let's see a window.
That's the unredacted version. Oh no!
There we go.
Apparently, Django was releasing a new version of Comic Shop Assistant, guys. He's dropped all of the balls this week as well.
All right. So actually, I'm going to reduce this so I can see it because it's right now. So oh, no, it didn't work. Oh, shoot. Okay.
No, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's perfect.
Okay, great. See everything. Okay, cool.
Hit the share.
Anything embarrassing in those tabs? No. Okay, great. So the question was for Earth 519, did this advice pay off? So
make it bigger. Make it bigger.
I'm gonna make it bigger. How do I make it bigger?
Just hit the slideshow.
I did that already, and that was taking over my entire screen, and I couldn't read it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on.
Sorry.
Let's just do it again. It's just I will do my best here. So the question was, is this working? Right? Did this give us some practical usage? And the answer is, in a lot of ways, yes. We were able to, if had followed this advice, able to save quite a bit of money. Net profit improvement over 2 months, $635 for a couple of different applications of just recommendations of these are the things you should order, these are the things you probably should not. An increase of sales. And I will say that I asked it for, you gave us 3 months. And so I asked it to pretend that it was, it didn't know what the next months were. So I did monthly reports for each. And I said, make predictions, make requests. And then I said, tell me how those would have worked. 9 of the 12 recommendations resulted in a positive outcome. And that meaning that had you followed that advice at the end of that month, you would have seen some net positive results. So what did we analyze? I'm going to have to keep moving this camera back and forth so that I can read this. This is really funny. Okay, great. Actual April to May 2026 sales from the POS data. We had 7,352 line items. 13 recommendations for ordering recommendations at the end of March and the end of April. And we asked, what would it look like if each recommendation had been followed exactly? There were some key assumptions that orders equal sales. There's some question about that. There were some speculative hardcover orders, seemingly, where you ordered hardcovers for sale later on. You did store blind bags, where the production cost really was the cost of goods. So those were really profitable. And then there was some specific title ordering recommendations that came out of it. Specifically, Iron Man. There was a catch-up warning to don't overorder because this is just somebody catching up, right? That was one of the pieces. 7 of them worked. There were 2 missed opportunities and 3 minor overestimations. So these were over orders, minimal waste that would have happened had you followed this. So really at the end of the day, it was, hey, by the way, you ordered these hardcovers, maybe hold off on doing that, or maybe you might want to liquidate them because you're not seeing the kind of sales for that product so far in your orders. It's saying that was a $544 savings had you not ordered those continually. We all do this. We all have the kind of ordering. Sometimes we order with our emotions, and so this sort of data is going to help you do that. It said, by the way, you produced these blind bags in March, but you did not produce them in April. This was an incredibly profitable thing for you. Why not keep doing them? And so that recommendation was $300 profit loss that you had taken that advice and continued to create those blind bags. I know you and I talked about this. I think it was a specific program for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually just out of comics to put in them, but then I found a bunch.
There you go.
Call those laggards, folks. Call those laggards. There's money in your back, in your dead stock.
The AI did correctly predict April's debut spike would deflate in May, so right size your May order and avoiding waste. The Dungeon Crawler Carl trade paperback recommended stocking based on the items you're seeing. By the way, if anybody here is not seeing the Dungeon Crawler Carl boost, it's because you haven't ordered. Iron Man catch up warning. So there was a 40 unit spike that happened as a catch up, not a trend. And so it was able to confirm that was, hey, don't take this and double down. You just be careful with this. And then talked about your blind bag gap. So basically, I don't have a key for this, but this is where everything spread out. Had this, assuming that this is another $3,600 per year you could be making by following this kind of advice. And then we talked a little bit about customer outreach opportunities. So we looked at those customers of yours, those fictional customers, and said, these are some that have lapsed. They bought in March and April, but we didn't see them in May. Maybe just send out hey, you guys are good. Here's something I heard this week. Just something that it allows you to sort of touch tone with those customers. 41 customers spent $100 plus, but did not buy Absolute Batman, which is surprising to me that anybody's not buying Absolute Batman at this point. But one of the things that it really focused on was the kind of cross-sell and upsell opportunities that you might not hit. Algorithms are really good at this. Humans are really good at, you love this, you'll probably love this. Algorithms are really good at customers who buy the things that you buy also buy this. And using both is not wrong. It just means that you're using all the tools that are available to you. And so I gave you really a specific action plan on how you can employ these things to start. 3 things you can start in June. And one of the things I loved about this as I was beginning to dig in was this idea of it taking what can be really dry business advice and creating a narrative around it, right? We are storytelling creatures. We tell each other stories, and we process information when it's told to us as a story. This is in many ways a storytelling engine. It can take all of this data and really crunch it up and then give you back all right, here's the path you are on. Here's maybe how you should jump over this hurdle that you're about to walk up on. So having seen that, what's your responses? I assume you didn't have a chance to look over the full report.
There was some really good stuff, and it was really interesting that I should be feeding these reports every month before I'm doing my orders because it's looking at things kind of from a 3 month trend and seeing there was one specific recommendation where it was like, you overbought on this, but over a 3 month period, you sold it. So I would recommend sticking at those levels. And it was one of
Yeah.
those books that I was like, I was going to cut to the bone, but it's like over 3 months, you are consistently getting rid of them. So you've got to look at it with a little bit more of a long tail. And it also had some specifics for titles that I was like, I was going deep on, and it was like, nah, you're not moving any of those, which intellectually I knew, but for some reason it wasn't until I saw it in a narrative that I was like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't go so deep on the things that I personally like because it's saying these aren't selling, even though I've seen that they're not selling. It's just like I don't know. There's something about those words that
Yeah.
make it more meaningful to me. But yeah, it was really really interesting. And that, like I said, I think I'll take this stuff and start running it once a month and just say, here's what my orders are for this upcoming month. What would you recommend I adjust? And
Yeah.
I will still be the arbiter of whether or not I agree with it, but the reasoning that it gives is often really really insightful.
It's the human AI sandwich, right? In the end of the day, you have to
Absolutely.
take responsibility for the work that you're doing. That even if the tool recommended that work, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right,
Yeah, and
cool.
like that's the one thing that a lot of people seem to get wrong with AI is like they just give the thing and then they pull it in and they immediately post it or save it or what. Like they don't really review it. And where the real goodness comes is when you're actually collaborating. It's like Matt said, think of it like an intern. I would even say like think of it as a PhD student who has no real world experience. They have
Yeah,
all the knowledge, but they have no experience to actually kind of implement that stuff. So you have to be the arbiter, the one that is adding the good juice to it at the
yeah,
end.
the good juice.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right.
So, where do
I'm
we
going
want
to
to
give
go?
you one more
Go.
little thing. So I've been using this app called Obsidian, which is
Oh, wait,
if you've
wait.
ever used OneNote. Oh, sorry.
Before we
Sorry.
jump into that, if you
Yeah.
are a retailer and you are interested in doing the kind of analysis that we just did, I am going to drop into the chat right now a link to the prompt that I gave to Claude Cowork.
Ooh, look at
So you
you.
can use this link along with your CSV file of your store sales, and it will spit out the kind of reporting that we were able to just give Brian. So
Do you have on that link kind of the keys that because we could drop in the CSV, the
I
not the
don't, but
CSV itself, but we give the headers.
I don't, but what we can do is we can drop it into this file. I can just edit this file. So check
Sure.
back with us.
Yeah,
Check
and
back.
I'll include the prompt I used in Shopify to generate the report. So if you want to generate that report, we'll have the prompt for both of those things
Cool. Excellent.
if you're using
Right on.
Shopify.
I already see a bunch of your little animals jumping in there. So hopefully you guys can use that.
Look at
Awesome.
that. Look at that. All right, I'm going to give you one more thing, one more little piece of advice. So if you're aware of Obsidian, Obsidian is a lot like OneNote. It's just like kind of so it's a tool that you use to capture your notes and things like that. I use it. So I'm a perpetual note taker. Whenever I'm in a meeting, I'll be writing down everything we say. The problem I have is that all my notes live in 1,000 different places. Even when I was using OneNote, I didn't really have a consistent structure. So I found this really great consistent structure online that puts everything into like an inbox and then it processes it. And I have Claude process my inbox every day. So at the end of my day, I say process inbox, goes through and takes all these items that I've written and then files them into the individual projects and then creates a task roll up, which I then send some of those tasks to my online task management software called Basecamp, because some of them aren't for me, they're for Craig or Max or Mike or somebody else. So those all go in there. But all it takes now is I write my notes and it like files them and does all the good stuff for me. And then every day I have a summary. So when I wake up, and the first thing I do is I read the summary from Friday, which includes active to-dos, things that you decided last week. It's super, super helpful. And it's really given clarity. I just feel more focused than I have in a long time. I will figure out, it actually is build a second, Brian. I will figure out a good place to share that. But yeah, it's been super helpful for me.
I will tell you, I've started using it, using Claude at the end of, at the beginning of each day to process email, right?
Yeah.
So it does
Yeah, that's
that.
part
You're
of
kind
it.
of building a narrative and rules around the emails that are coming in. And then at the end of each week, I use it to file. I still get so tired of filing files, managing files, that I just dump everything into the download folder now. And then once a week, I say, put all this away. Tell me what I can delete. And then double check it all before it goes. But yeah, it just made all the difference in the world. I'm going to use it on my notes. That's really smart. Okay.
I do the same thing with files, because like receipts, I'm notorious for like losing receipts, but I dump them all into my downloads, and then it knows the pattern that I want the files renamed for receipts, and puts them in my receipts folder, and then uploads them to Dext, which is the place where all my receipts goes. Yeah, it's great. It's great. And then I just review that stuff to make sure it's right.
I have one more tip here that now I have to admit that this one anyway is, I'm gonna go, I moved my slides around so that, here we go. One more thing here. I was talking to Trevor, our producer. It was talking about how, he and people in his life struggle with the idea of, this sort of overly complimentary AI makes you don't trust it, because it's like, oh, that's so smart that you're asking me that silly question, or it's complimenting you constantly. Its goal is to keep you engaged, obviously. But if you really want to use Claude Cowork as a tool, I went through some of this I have not yet done. I actually asked Claude to put this together, so this is what it wants you to be doing. But essentially, there are a few things you need to understand in working with Claude that will teach it how to work with you. And so you're customizing the tool as opposed to customizing your work to the tool, right? Quickly run through these, because again, I don't know a whole lot about all of them, but this one was the unlock for me. If you tell your Claude, your Cowork, that you want to set up these global instructions of where all the files that it's going to be using are, where the files are going to go, why does it matter? What kind of work do you do? Who you are? What kind of tone do you want it to use? Do you want it to challenge you? Do you want it to, ask you questions every single time? You can set up rules so that it is not learning each time. Because as much as these things are really good at pretending that they know you, they start fresh every time you open them up. So what you're doing with Claude Cowork, and why it is such a big unlock, is that it is creating files on your machine that say, here are the things that this person wants. Here are the things that we've done that were successful. I'm going to do more like that. It is essentially that coworker who you want to be able to talk to at 1 o'clock in the morning yes, I was up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Get over it, Adam. Anyway. And it also, there are things called skills. So these are, I've only begun dealing with these, but these are essentially markdown little packages that you can drop in to teach your Claude specific ideas on how to work with different kinds of files, what complex workflows that you want it to use, and essentially these are it learning things that you don't have to, or the things that you already understand that are sort of formalized. Plugins. So this is incredibly helpful whenever you are working with pieces like other programs outside of this. We've started working with GitHub a little bit. I mean, not GitHub. What's the word I'm looking for? HubSpot a little bit, using one of these connectors. And those are essentially a huge level up. I have it now working with my Gmail and my calendar. And so like when I can say inside of my calendar conversations, I can say, find a spot on my calendar to work on this. The next available hour, I want to be able to work on the thing in this email. I want you to archive it and then bring it back during that hour, right? I could have done that with somebody like Megan, right? I think at times I've asked her to do things like that, to be honest. But this is just so much more automated and it's so much easier. When I say schedule this for me later in the week, it knows what that means, right? All of those pieces have become just a huge unlock for me. And then, as you talked about, scheduled tasks. At the end of the day, it goes through your notes. At the end of my work week, it files all of my downloads. It can give you, I get a full email report of everything that's in my inbox, including things that says, don't miss this, right? And, or give me we've all seen the AI summary of a long conversation. That is helpful, but it also means, oh, I have to go back and look at this, as opposed to this is just chatter. So huge unlock for me. I can't recommend it enough, but also it's not infallible, right? So it is, once again, the AI human sandwich. You have to be in charge of what represents you. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah. Part of my process is literally to review the thing that it creates, because you have to, otherwise you're not going to have that context next week when you come back. Yes. And you got to make sure that it did it right. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
right, cool.
AI is great. Everybody loves it. There's no notes. No notes.
No, everybody loves AI. Nobody hates it. Go back to last week. We could talk about morals and ethics.
That's right.
All right. Let's get back to talking about comics, shall we? I don't think we
talked
about
everybody's favorite part.
This is the Prana bestseller list, y'all. This is a project we've been working on now for several years. We had a big unlock this week where the Beat started reporting on the monthly, and we're actually talking to other channels. If you are a reporter and you want access to our monthly list of titles, please reach out. This is something we do with Managed Comics and Comic Shop Assistant, two of the fastest growing POS companies in our market. And I said POS companies, not POS systems. So
look at you.
80,000 consumers, 600 plus stores. The idea is that we have a big cohort, so therefore no one store can really change all of this data. Well, before we get into this,
should we bring in Sean?
Let's bring in Sean, our favorite commentator, the man who I swear I was talking to you. I'm going to talk to you about another project we want you on, because your understanding of the story behind comics is one of my favorite things about this segment every week. So thanks for being here, buddy.
Why, thank you so much. And I love being here too, so much so that I am here with you on my birthday, because I could not skip out on my favorite
part.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you very
so much for being there. Everybody, if you are watching this and you like what Sean has to say, which why wouldn't you? Because it's always good. You should go and be watching the Comics Pals twice a week. Saturday morning, it's one of my favorite things, man. So it's like I sit there with my bowl of cereal and I watch you guys talk about comics. So let's get into it, shall we? Well, this is the market share for the week. And once again, I'm playing improv. This is my first time looking at it. Sean, I hope you took a deep dark look at what the list looks like down below the top 10. Yes. Marvel finally winning a week. Image doing this is a top end for them. The 18% usually is their high, and so they're really right at it. Nick Barucci at Dynamite shared the last weeks, and I appreciate you pointing that out, Nick. Doing almost 7%. That's a huge week for them. IDW, Dark Horse, Boom Entertainment, Titan, Keenspot Entertainment, which is the Mark Spears company, and Ignition Press making our top 10. Hey, crew. Not bad. How did this happen, Sean?
Well, there are a few storylines here. We can start from the top. I think that, we'll dive deeper into the top 10, but we have to talk about Marvel's success this week on the back of Avengers Armageddon. This is their big summer event, and they dropped their #1 issue. Now, it didn't win the week, which is important to say, and we'll talk more about that shortly. But we have to acknowledge the fact that Avengers Armageddon was a strong showing for Marvel, and they also had Daredevil, which is still kicking butt, That was the third issue that came in at number 4, and a bit of a weird one, but people showed up for it. Jay and Silent Bob's Jays of Future Past was the 7th best-selling book this week, issue 1 of that. So, Marvel really kind of coming in strong. They even closed out the top 10 with Black Cat and X-Men. So, it doesn't surprise me to see Marvel's performance this week, because quite a few of these books are their best hitters. And again, they're launching their summer event, of which DC really doesn't have one.
That's a really good point. They haven't really talked about having a big. Well, I mean, they have an event right now. It is called Absolute, and that hasn't changed. I mean, that's they don't really need an event anymore. What was I going to say? The Kevin Smith era, though, is coming in hot. Like he has really. I know he's got projects all over the place right now. It's good to see him back in the fold. He was such a big player there for a while with books like Green Arrow, if you remember back in the day.
Yeah.
Let's look at that top 10.
I got.
We have it.
I was so engaged that I wasn't actually. Oh, I thought I was just listening now. All right, here we go.
Awesome. Look at that.
Number 1, Absolute Catwoman with a bang.
Yeah, that's remarkable, man. Che Grayson. I think did I say this already? Just what an incredible voice that she had. They are incredible. I will say there was not a dry eye in the room when they were talking at that panel. Did you go to that panel?
I sure did. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so moving. Talking about working with that crew at DC and talking about that experience and how that has been for them and what comics means to them. Oh, dude, incredible. I'm so happy for them. And to do this well, it's really strong.
Yeah. Absolute Catwoman. I don't think there can be anyone surprised by this. I mean, there has been so much excitement behind this book ever since I believe it was issue 13 of Absolute Batman, where we first really got her debut. Scott Snyder has been pretty clear about the fact that he doesn't really deserve credit for this one. I believe this is an instance where it's his name kind of helping to bolster the book, but really Che Grayson and Bengal and the crew are the ones that deserve the credit. And it's a great credit to Che Grayson, this being, I believe, their first DC credit, being such a big success. I believe the orders were to the tune of 300K.
I thought I read 360.
Okay.
At one point.
Okay. I know something I'm not supposed to know, so I will just say I'm pretty sure that's close. Yes.
Okay.
I won't. We can't get into that. Yeah, you probably figure something out if you really wanted to. But yeah, I love the fact that Barbara Gordon Breakout number 2 is on here, and they had that big announcement at during that panel. I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
Is that the Absolute announcement?
The Absolute. Yeah. Barbara Gordon.
I think her name is.
Yeah.
And what I loved about that is Megan pointed out, she sent me this picture that somebody there's a company that does these CGC books, and they advertise like crazy on Facebook, and like they took a screen grab that someone posted the picture of the really bad the screen at the Heroes was not great. So they took the screen grab of that and turned it into a CGC 9.8 that they're selling. I don't know. There's something about the hustle there I kind of love.
Oh my goodness. Avengers Armageddon also they printed a butt ton of them. So there's a rumor that I know PRH just did like an extended reorder session for them. And apparently a lot of people are coming in just to buy the book because there's a Magic the Gathering card that is only available in this book. So it could have add-on sales on top of that.
That's true.
Which is pretty exciting.
That's very true.
Mask, a Hasbro property from the 80s that, like, other than Django, I don't know anybody that remembers, but apparently did super well.
I had never heard of. You know what I love about this is it makes number 3 this week. It's a title. I will say did not even know that the property existed. I think it was just aged out on that. But the blind bag of it all and the hidden ROM book.
That's the best part.
That was the bit. And of course I know ROM because I'm a Gen X kid, but even that was young for me. ROM is I have no idea how old that book is. It's incredible.
This is another example of Skybound really just understanding how to deliver when it comes to surprises. The blind bag that they did for Battle Beast was absolutely incredible, and there was added value beyond just a cool cover that you could get issue 2. You could get a completely different comic. They did that again here, just really bringing the incentive to grab a blind bag and make it a fun experience. This is how I think it should be done, and I think the big 2 should take a look.
I totally agree. And what's funny with this book, I grabbed a blind bag because I wanted to read it. And I thought, well, I'll grab the blind bag and at least enjoy the blind bag. By the time I think Tuesday rolled around, we had sold out of cover A. Thursday rolled around. We had sold out of cover A. And I opened up mine Thursday night, and it's Mask Origins, which I didn't even realize was not the story. I was just like, wow, this is a really G.I. Joe heavy comic. All right. And then I found out online, oh no, that's one of the special covers. I was like, oh, damn it. Now I have to go somewhere and find a number 1 and hope that. So yeah, I haven't still read it because I read the blind bag version.
Stephanie Phillips, Daredevil number 3. I love seeing that come in so strong. That it's a really strong book. Ben 10 number 2.
Is that the second week for that, or is that the first week?
No, I think this is the first week for number 2.
So it's the first week for number 2, and I hope I'm not jumping the gun, but number 1 is also on this list.
Oh yeah,
again at number 26.
Jeez.
Oh, second printing. Printing came out last week.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
That'll do it. Yeah, interesting.
What are the other surprises in the top 400 that you're seeing?
Yeah, so there are some really interesting storylines when you leave the top 10 as well. I'm always tracking Dork, because I really believe in this book. Adam, you were at Heroes Con as well. Brett Bean's booth was always packed. I tried to get a moment with the man. I could not.
So great.
Yeah. Which, happy for him, but unhappy for me, right?
Yeah.
But so the book is still here, doing quite well, number 15 in sales. Love to see that. People showed up for Batman Gargoyle of Gotham, which is a very, very late book. We've been waiting for this for quite some time, but they showed up for it as well, making it into the top 20. You get a little lower, and there's a very interesting book on this list, M1, Monster Racing League. This is a Jay Lee vehicle, hardy har har. And I bought it for the Jay Lee of it all, which is definitely why it made 24th in sales this week. Whether you think the book overall was a great story, you can't deny Jay Lee's artwork. It's unbelievable.
100%.
Our pre-order numbers on this were pretty low, and I went fairly heavy based on just that cover looked really, really good. And I thought, this looks interesting. And again, we sold out by, I think, Saturday. We had sold out of it. So yeah, it's one of those books I think that is going to have legs. And that if stores took a chance on it, they're probably going to get rewarded.
I believe that. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Sean. Big week for comics. Big week for you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being around, man. Once again, if you are not a subscriber to Comics Pals, man, what do you even do with your life? You sleep in on Saturday morning?
Come on. Subscribe. You can also watch it on demand if you don't watch it, when it comes out on Saturday morning. But you know what else you can watch?
What's that?
The Prana Bullet.
That's right. Every week.
See that? You're not the only one that can do a segue.
I love it. Every week, Megan Marsden puts in such incredible effort to doing her best to make sure that we all stay in the loop, right? We all know what the big stories were and give us a little bit of context of how it's going to affect our business or career in comics. The Prana Bullet, not only does it have all those downloads, all those headlines, but it also has information about a lot of Prana clients. It's got a whole lot of really cool assets that we brought in. It links to all of our shows. We try and drop in anytime we build something, like say this prompt, it will go in there. But the big piece at the very bottom, she always puts it at the bottom because you put the milk in the back of the grocery store, is the top 400 list, the complete list that goes out of all of the books that sold in comic shops last week. So if you want to see that, I believe it is the only weekly, and I would say the best largest cohort of anybody doing that. Yes, you do look forward to the Prana Bullet every week. Hear that, Megan? You actually have to get it done on time. So we're gonna do it. Awesome.
You guys are so good at getting it at a time that we're often scrambling to get the episode for next week ready to go before you're going out. So yeah,
that's very true.
It's amazing.
All right, what's next? I'm improving.
I literally don't even know.
Awesome.
I've never hit this far. Quick Comics Magazine. Is this issue 5? Is that the final cover?
That is. Isn't that good?
Mark Spears.
Mark Spears. This is the Mark Spears special, man. It's going to be out here in what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? First week of July, and it's a barn burner. You're going to really like this one. You should get us on your mailing list. Scan this little code right here and or go to comicsthemagazine.com and sign up for our mailing list. We like to give you alerts. We'll let you know when you're going to do it. And we have special things planned for that list. So you're going to want to be on it. And I promise we won't spam you because we're just not that organized. So, yeah.
My goodness.
Oh, yeah. We dropped this in. We did want to talk just quickly about John Davis. For those of you who don't know who John is, John and Milton Greep, who now runs ICV2, they were the co-founders of Capital City Distribution. It was, at a time, I believe it was the largest distributor of comics in the world, and at some point it and Diamond were duking it out there at the end of that particular distributor war. John was a really fantastic guy. I didn't know him personally, but I know so many people who spoke highly of him, and it is a huge loss for all of us that we've lost this voice to our industry. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. So thank you. All right.
Well, on that note.
Wow, that we just kind of
Next week. Next week, we were trying to figure out what to do next week because we're in that weird lull time between like anything and San Diego Comic-Con. So very little news is going to come out in the next 3-4 weeks. And it also means that like we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. You've got 8 different panels to put together for.
I know. I don't know how we're going to do it. Literally 8 panels we're doing.
Yeah,
Actually, I think I only got to do 7 of them because Joe's doing one.
And you've also run one of them before, so maybe
it's more of an update. But yeah, still, it's next week we have
we have a lot of things to say about you people, and you're going to hear about it. So yeah.
Here's the thing: when you work in this business long enough, you got rants, things that build up, things you want to talk about, things that if you have got a platform, people are going to have to hear. So Brian's got one. I know I've got more than one.
I have a few. Let me talk to you about some.
But here's what I want you to
about the retailer groups.
If you're one of the folks who's watching this right now and you know us well, or if you don't know us well, if you hate us, how about that?
That's the best. Yes, if you hate us, please
air your grievances. Reach out to us and let us know what it is that gets your goat. What is it about comics that you just want a platform and you want to stand up and you want people to hear about it? I know I've got a barn burner, and I'm determined to get myself canceled. And if you don't know why, if you think that the AI thing didn't do it, what else could? Tune in next week because it's going to be a good one. But yeah, Yes, it is engagement bait. I want you to engage. So comment.
Tell us what you hate about us.
Tell us what you hate about comics or the comics industry, or what really gets you rolling, especially if you work in comics. I understand, fans, man, you've all got a gripe, and you have no problem voicing it. We hear it. What I'm hoping you'll do is let us know if you're a pro and you just want one shot. Just get it off your chest. Drop us a line. info@pranadm.com. I want to hear from you. info@pranadm.com.
There's a few retailers who've told me, you know, that they dislike one or the other of us. And whenever I hear why, I'm like, that's their job. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what they do. So, yeah. Yeah, that's not really a legitimate hatred, but we'll air it. You tell us what it is, and
let's
go.
We'll and you know what? Yeah. If you can't be on the show, write it up, and maybe we'll read it. Like, let's see. We'll do some viewer mail. This is, I don't know. This one's gonna be fun. We're determined to have fun. So
if
anybody
you hate all of the oxygen that Absolute is taking out of the air, let us know. Let us know. You hate Marvel and what they're doing, and how just suits are they're just ruining Marvel Comics. Let us know.
Let's go. We want to know. We want to
it.
hear about it.
Air those grievances.
Django just texted me, and I'm saying approved. We were going to have Django on. He's going to give us this one. So,
all right.
Happy birthday to Sean.
Happy birthday.
You know, and the rest of you. You know, you guys, you had a week. You showed up. A lot of you went to Charlotte. You got onto an airplane, and you went to a comic book show. Not like a comic show, an actual comic book show where they did nothing but art and comics and collections. And, you know, there were some cosplayers, but man, that they just showed up because they loved this thing. And you showed up to panels and you just showed your love about it. I mean, like really obscure panels too. And you just showed up and the love just oozed out of you. Thank you. And if you didn't go to a convention, you stayed home and instead you felt like, you know, I got a little FOMO. I'm going to go to the comic shop and buy a little extra this week because I'm not going to go spend it on original art or that auction. Good Lord. If you spent money at that auction, thank you. And if you just stayed home and you made comics, right? Maybe you published them. Maybe you drew them. Maybe you just sat down and powered through some scripts that you needed to finally get written. Thank you. If you had a community that you made them feel welcome and that their love of comics was enough for them to be loved by you and your community, thank you. Because you know what each and every one of you did this week? You saved comics. Namaste, y'all.